comments. I ask you again to limit your comments to 3 minutes. I got to get my time on. Got it now. You got 3 minutes, and I ask that if you're going to speak on something that's already been spoken on, that you add only what you need to add to that and not reiterate what's already been said. So the first speaker on the list is Dane Chisholm.
Good evening. We all know. Good evening. My name is Dane Chisholm. I'm a proud Hawkins County resident and consider myself a humble servant to our community. My family decided to put our flag down here in Hawkins County after I got out of the Army and started our next chapter. We were seeking a sanctuary, and we were sure that Though we were seeking a sanctuary, and we were sure that we had found it nestled within this beautiful and seemingly ultra-free 500 square miles of northeast Tennessee. After all, we here in Hawkins County are a constant...
Give him the microphone, other microphone.
We here in Hawkins County are a constitutional sanctuary, protectors of America's highest ideals and foundational beliefs, defenders of inalienable rights that were gifted to us from the highest authority within this vast cosmos. So it should be no surprise to you that there has been a recent surge of civic participation within our local community, directly due to the extreme nature of proposed legislation such as the County Power Act, which was brought into consideration last month after fierce and widespread backlash from the populace. Rightly so. The authoritarian and tyrannical themes that were present in the ultra-vague call for the county to grant itself power to, quote, regulate all uses of private property and to be capable to, quote, exercise police powers in order to do so hit our community like a shockwave. It didn't even seem conceivable that such a tyrannical proposal would ever find its way into our constitutional sanctuary. Your noticeably condescending response to the community's disapproval of that insane proposition exposed some of you, and it revealed your intense disconnect with the community that you serve. But from this extremely negative situation, there was a positive effect. It inspired the free men and women of this county to unite and send a bold message to our public servants. Not in Hawkins County. It inspired organizations like United Citizens of Hawkins County to answer the call to defend our liberty and preserve it for our children and their children. It was our organization that was responsible for the flyers seen far and wide, and it was we who sounded the alarm to the community about this evil proposition from our local government. UCHC recognizes that it is a sacred duty and a natural obligation of being an American to identify threats to freedom and then combat those threats at any cost necessary. We choose to remember that many Americans have given the ultimate sacrifice in order to ensure our people could pursue happiness, own our own land and homes outright, and speak our conscience freely without fear. We have chosen to honor those sacrifices, and we preserve the ideals that those sacrifices upheld. We are watching you to ensure that you too honor those sacrifices, and we are here to stay. As commissioners and mayor, you are servants to the people, and you have an obligation to recognize tyrannical themes within proposed legislation and to protect and shield your community from it. This service to the public is your absolute priority above any budget or any grants, and surely above worrying about what citizens are doing on their privately owned properties in the unincorporated areas of this county. And so now Hawkins County is calling on you for accountability. Display your intent to serve us faithfully and honorably. Vote yes on Commissioner Gillen's Listening to the People bill. never again consider proposing legislation that is contrary to our people's constitutionally guaranteed rights. Let Hawkins County lead by example and make this proclamation boldly. We are a sanctuary for freedom and the American way of life. Thank you.
I would just like to say,
Louder.
You probably have to pick the microphone up, sorry.
I'm glad that I see this many people here tonight. I think after last month, there's a lot of people that are going to pay attention to what goes on in these meetings and take what comes out of them more seriously. I would just like to say the UCHC movement is here in town and it's going to stay, and I hope everything works out with all of everybody here. And I don't want to lose my property rights. I'm going to keep what I have. I bought enough land for whatever my neighbors do does not directly affect me. It seems like there's a lot of people that come to our county that want to move in next to somebody that has 4 cars, 4 roosters that drive, or dogs that bark. They're used to calling somebody up north and saying, hey, I got a problem. And the answers are immediate, and they send out the inspectors and alleviate the problem. But I just would like to see all the commissioners vote and do what's right for us to be.
I haven't started it. I swear I haven't started it. I usually wait till you're about sentence in to start it.
Father, in Jesus' name, may my time, may my words be used wisely. First of all, a huge thank you to our commission. Last month, the meeting, we showed up just to find out what was going on. We had no idea. We were shocked by the amount of people overaged and the response to it. So we really appreciate you guys listening and changing venues so everybody here that wants to hear, that wants to speak, that wants to listen are able to do that. And thank you all for coming and showing your patriotism. I'm passionate about our freedoms. I am so worried about the eroding of our freedoms from special interest groups chipping away for their profits, for their agenda, and we don't even get to see what it is. At the last meeting, it was clear to us that we needed to understand how Hawkins County operates. We started researching. We have lived in many places, in many states, for many reasons. Never have we come across a government that was so hard to see. I'm talking much larger governments and smaller governments. I could have been on the wrong county page, but I doubt it. I realized quickly we don't have transparency, we don't have communication, and we have a lot of overlap with the state and state associations. I realized that trying to read our budgets with the amount of information that's provided is not possible. I realized that digging deeper, there's some huge discrepancies in pay rates and what those jobs do. We need our elected officials to stand for we, the people. We put you in office, we pay your salaries and your pay. I I don't know how all of you get paid. I can't find anything. I can't find job descriptions. I can't find salary. We don't have to say this person gets this much, but we should know that this position starts at this much, has this requirements, goes through these steps. None of that is available to find. What I have found about our deputies, I found because of the news. And I'm exceptionally disheartened with what I found there.
30 seconds.
Ay.
Sorry. I delayed it as long as
Thank you, I appreciate that. There is no such thing as a little freedom, no such thing as a little democracy, and no such thing as rule of law when applicable. We are at a cusp, and we have to stand strong. God bless America, and may all of us remember every time we say, God bless America, we need to be blessed in God, so He will bless America. Stand strong, stand for us, listen to what God tells you, and have the strength to act. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. One of the gentlemen over there, I'm a transplant from New York. Moved here 2 years ago, started a nice little farm, and didn't come in to change a thing. We love it. It's like, all these people moving in with money. It's like, I just want to know which one of you, or how many of you come up with this proposal. Did it come from outside town? Did it come from within you guys? Somebody had to have introduced this. There has to be a minute somewhere. You all had to have voted on it to bring it to the floor, to bring it to us. So, you know, I'm curious. Because I left that rubbish behind, and it is, and I come from England. I've been here 32 years. I'm a proud American citizen. I love it here. And the simple fact is, I've seen this. It destroyed my country, and it's going to destroy this one, and there's something done about it. So all of you people sitting here, somebody there introduced this, or multiple people, and that's the problem. You know, I'd like to know because you know, when you got your seat and why you're even up there. There are plenty of states out there. If you want to introduce this sort of, you know, tyrannical crap upon us, you can go there and do it, you know, freely, because the people up there are sheep. They're not sheep. You're not in control. I'm sorry, but that's it, the way it is. And I really would like an accounting as to who got the ball rolling on this. Somebody had to bring it up.
We answered that at the last meeting.
Well, no, you threw me out in the last meeting because I didn't use the fire code thing.
Okay.
So I didn't get that.
We had fire code we had to agree to.
Yeah, which is.
It was a county technical assistance service template. I put it in the motion. I accepted that responsibility for the last meeting. I apologize for it, and I said I would not bring it up again. So, you know, that's been asked and answered, and I do take responsibility for it. Everybody makes a mistake every now and then. I'm sure everybody in this room has made a mistake before. The only difference is when you make a mistake, you don't have 58,000 people looking at you. So I took responsibility for it, and that's where it stands. So go right ahead.
I don't view it as a mistake. I view it as a violation of our rights. Thank you. How many like people walking on your property? You know, it's like, are we become Tennessee, the gated community? It's like, I mean, where does it end?
Okay, we got 30 seconds.
So, well, no, I just wanted to find out how this got started. It's like, right, I got my answer. And it's like, you know, how long have you been elected?
I'm sorry.
How long, when were you elected?
When was I elected? I took office September of last year.
And how many of you have voted for Tennessee? I just wondering, because this is an out of town thing.
Okay, you've got 15 seconds.
But no, I'll leave it there. I just, I got my own self, that was it. Like I said, I've seen it before, dealt with it before. I moved down here, it's been wonderful until I hear this. And it's like, here we go again. At some point, you just have to leave the people alone.
Okay, I appreciate it. Got it, Commissioner Plum. Commissioner Plum would like to speak.
Didn't ask when did this get started. It got started about 2 years ago. Went down on Gilltown Road. A man came in on a one-lane road. People had built houses there, been living there for 35 years. And a man came in, wanted to put in a rock crusher. He wanted to dynamite near the people's homes. He wanted to run 20-ton trucks 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Those people certainly wish that we had some regulations to stop that. It only stopped because it was a one-lane road, and it was straight off into the river, and the man that wanted to build a rock crusher would not assume responsibility for damage to the road. Since that time, at numerous county commission meetings, people from all over Hawkins County have came to the commission and called each one of us, hey, do something about this net house over here. Do something about this commercial chicken house that stinks so bad I can't stand it, and other problems like that. So, we thought we were doing what the people of Hawkins County wanted for us to do. I'm sorry, I understand your concern. Now listen, you listen to me, okay?
I think we're heard.
Okay. We listened to you for 2 meetings up here to try to explain this. I don't want to tell anybody what to do. But I hear at the last meeting, if it's ever brought up again, bring it for a referendum of the people. You people here tonight certainly have a voice, and I respect that. But I don't know the majority of Hawkins County, because those Hawkins counties I know was raised poor, work 6 or 7 days a week like I did to pay for a home, and they certainly don't want their neighborhood full of red houses and trash.
Okay. Let's move on, please.
We raise chickens in our old age. Roosters crow
The counties I was raised with would be respectful and let somebody speak. You guys come in here less than 2 years, you probably didn't vote in the last election, but you think you're the majority and won't tell us what to do. I've been a union officer for 35 years, and I'm just stubborn enough to tell you what I think about it.
I've been living here 68 years, and I don't appreciate this kind of crap.
Okay, let's move on, please. Next speaker, next. Next. Pardon me. All right, pardon me. Ma'am, can we move on, please?
I'm trying to let us speak.
You haven't been recognized.
No, sir, as a person that is trying to let that list you have in front of you be heard, the voices in this stadium right now, or this gymnasium, I'm on your side to hear the cause of the people. I'm on your side to be that these people that you represent are heard. So what's the
Okay,
next
ma'am, are you on the speaker list?
I wish I was.
Okay.
I came in.
How you folks doing today?
Good.
Well, I'm David Lincoln, so I was born and raised here. I'm one of those poor boys that grew up here barefoot. So yes, a majority of the people are here. So for you to say that, I'm not gonna beat you up on what the resolution was last month. It seems like you're gonna get that done from everybody else. My question is, airport. I sat through the meeting. I want to know a few things about it. Is it privately owned?
It's owned by the county.
It's owned by the county, okay? So nobody mans it 24/7. Nobody has an accountability of any of the flights that go in and out of there?
We have a fixed-based operator.
Right.
There is no way that you can have logs of what goes in and out 24/7.
There's no way. If I ran my business like that, I'd be out of business within 6 months. How can you tell me there's no way for you to log a flight going in and out?
He's not there 24/7.
Okay, well, there should be set hours, and there's somebody there during the day.
Yes,
All right, all the flights are logged in.
can't answer that.
All right, jet fuel being sold up there. Is there a log? Is there a log that you know who's buying it, how much they're buying?
It's an automatic system with a credit or debit card.
So basically, anybody with a debit card or a credit card can go in there and buy anything.
Inside the fence, yes, if you can get in the fence.
So if it's open, anybody can go in there and do it. I've seen them filling up jugs up there. Yes or no?
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure a reliable source. Anybody can go in there anytime they want, you know, and fill up anything. There's no regulation of any records of flights going in and out. And they're saying that you're not open at night. If it's a county airport and it's county owned, why don't we have a county official sitting up there during the day or a county employee that's documenting all this?
I would suggest that your concern should be brought to the airport committee.
And that
We
would
can
be
go
Ms.
from there.
Nancy Parker.
She's chairman.
Yeah.
There's
They're
seven
all
members on the
commissioners.
airport committee.
They're all commissioners though, so they're all sitting up here, aren't they?
Right. but
Except
we're not
Mr. Maddox,
discussing
he was
airport.
resigning.
We're not discussing airport
No,
business.
no, we're discussing a community that wants to know and accountability, and that's what this is. This is accountability. And this is what we and I want to give the rest of my time to the young lady right up
You
here.
can't do
Why
that.
not?
You can't do
I
that.
only got,
We've put
I've
that
got 3
forward.
minutes, correct?
You've got 5 seconds.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're keeping track of it,
Well-
because that's one of the few things that you are keeping track of.
Many of us are here today to get closure on.
Plus you get life jackets.
Put it under your chin. Hang on.
Well, no, it's all right. It's fine. All right. So many of us are here today to get closure on the so-called 2391 County Powers Act that was proposed and withdrawn last month in response to a lot of widespread opposition. So while most of the county residents were glad to see the bill's demise, many are still wondering whether the bill would have passed if it wasn't withdrawn. Or whether the bill might be resurrected at some point down the road, in piecemeal or in total. So we don't really know how many of the commissioners would favor this, since it was never voted on. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're interested in this bill, the resolution that John just introduced. So we don't know how people feel about this on the commission. And giving people some confidence in the commission would be advanced if this bill, Josh's bill, passed, and we can have understanding who is interested in it, and who is in favor of it, and who doesn't. and hopefully the majority of you do. But now we really have no idea. So a couple of years ago, the Commission unanimously adopted a constitutional sanctuary resolution, minus one abstention, as I recall. And based on that fact, I would have thought that anything like this Powers Resolution abomination would have never seen the light of day. It really surprised me if that was the case. And conversely, I would have thought that this counter resolution of Josh's would be receiving widespread approval and support. And that doesn't seem to be the case, as I understand it. There are no co-sponsors on that. Is that correct?
Yes, but that's on the call I've been asking about it, Jack, because I've had the opportunity to. So that's not on anyone sitting up here, that's on me.
Okay, so subtract that as the merit. Anyway, to eliminate the possibility that some of the commissioners may not have studied the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and so on. Recently, I am this evening donating copies of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence to everyone. All I look forward to your vote on the resolution. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, I'm Brenda Feature. I think a lot of you know me. I've spoken to you before. I've had to rewrite what I was going to say based on what I have heard here. I will remind you that my husband, son, and I moved to East Tennessee to escape the growing tyranny and socialist-minded elected officials in the state of Washington. And we found freedom here in the people and the commissioners of Hawkins County. I'm not going to repeat about last month's resolution. You all know what it contained and why it was so broad and overreaching and absolutely dangerous to this great republic of ours. I think you all understand that. The past years have been a learning lesson for all of us as Americans. We're all figuring out how to be Americans, how to be citizens, how to be commissioners. The dangers of putting words on paper for people who come after you. How will they abuse these powers if you put them in place? Since the founding of Hawkins County in 1787, order and peace have been maintained without local government possessing unconstitutional powers. We can and must continue to maintain order and peace, but within the existing framework of constitutionally consistent laws and systems that are already at our disposal to settle disputes, prevent crime, and protect the health and welfare of the community. We all want the same thing. None of us want meth labs. None of us want dangerous roads. All of us want freedom. So it's going to take longer to settle things, maybe, if you don't give yourself broad powers. But we can do this as a community. I believe in this community, and I believe with love and grace in our hearts, and remembering that Constitution, that we can get it done. Please pass Josh's resolution. Thank you.
Hi, can everyone hear me? Yeah. Awesome. It's going to be real short, so I want to give my remaining 3 minutes to this gentle lady right here that has wonderful things to say as well. Hi everyone, I'm Christina Smith. I am here on behalf of United Citizens of Hawkins County. We are a new group in town, pretty recent here. We want you to know that we are watching how you vote on District 4 Commissioner Josh Gillum's Listening to the People bill. We also want you to know that your time of irresponsible spending, tax increases, and lack of accountability is officially over. We will be ensuring that these issues do not continue in the future. We are watching, and we are here to stay.
Hello, my name is Rachel Raisha Cowan.
I'm sorry, repeat your name again?
Raisha Cowan.
Raisha Callen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I am actually a native of this area. I have watched my family struggle to keep their farm. I have watched my papa 20 years ago, whenever he was dealing in tobacco, deal with the same kind of ordinances as the resolution was otherwise. But what I want to do is remind you all at this table. Is it okay if I speak for you all? Is it okay that I say that I'm one of you? Is it okay that I say that what we need to stand on is our constitutional right to speak what is right, to stand together, to do as this young lady over here did, and to make sure the voices that need to be heard are heard. Now you were entrusted with your seats, and you opened ours to hear us. All I'm going to do is to encourage you all to listen to the people that have trusted you, not the powers that pressure you, not the money that's in your pocket, not these people hoping and praying for a difference. We are the people. You on this table and these people out here. We are the people. There's powers bigger than us that I know you're feeling the pressure to. But you are our first line of defense to make sure that we are secure, that we are safe, and that our rights under your watch are taken care of.
That's 30 seconds.
30 seconds is all I need. Will all the people that know that what is right and wrong, please raise your hand. Thank you.
Person on the list is Catherine Bailey.
Why didn't even one of y'all on that guy try to raise your name? That's what I would like to know. Wrong. This is not what you say.
No, I'm Catherine Bailey. And I know there's some didn't want Josh to introduce this resolution. This resolution didn't have merit. This resolution does have merit. It keeps this commission for the next 3 years from introducing anything like this ever again. It's come up 3 times since my dad was commissioner back in '78. It's been voted down each time. This time, this keeps the commission even bringing it up again the next 3 years. Now, if you want to talk about the resolution didn't have merit, the one where you said you're going under the Constitution or red flag law, them had no merit because you laid your hand on the Bible and swore you'd uphold the Constitution of the United States. I take the Bible a lot more serious than the resolution. Then that hell's already built that. And now, to answer this guy over here on his airport, that is a hobby airport that we don't need. All we're doing is supplying Sullivan County people with the airport. Just because you get a $3 million grant don't mean you take it. That means you're taking $119,000 out of the taxpayer's pocket right here. And we don't need it no more. Shut it down. Sell the 44 acres. Let the 5 years run out on the grant. Shut it down. If we're going to give $119,000, let's give it to the sheriff over here. Let him do something with that. I'm sure the sheriff will do it. Let's let him have $119,000 over the airport. There's no accountability for that airport whatsoever. If somebody says industry uses it, BS. No industry flies a prop plane. They fly Lears. And Lears do not fly into here. They fly into Tri-Cities, Marshtown, and Greenville. No, and we ain't, matter of fact, we ain't have no industry in Hawkins County nearly. All the people is going out to Hawkins County because we don't have an industrial board to get them here. So let's go back to the basics. Listen to the people. These people put everybody in here to be good stewards of the money. We're $2.5 million in the red in the last budget. Just wait to see what this tax increase is going to be this next year, people. We're going to be $4 million in the red, and you're going to see your taxes go up for the 3rd time in 3 years. How about guarantee you that? It's got to come to a halt. It's got to stop. There's government overreach. It's got to stop now. Thank you.
2023-0903, introduced by Commissioner Gillum.
To the Honorable Mark DeWitt, Chairman and members of the Hawkins County Board of Commissioners in regular session, met this 25th day of September 2023. Resolution to reference Hawkins County Commission agrees to never adopt TCA 6-2-201, 22, and 23 or similar powers. Whereas the Hawkins County Commission voted to make Hawkins County a constitutional sanctuary, and whereas overreaching government regulations on people's private property are contrary to the rights afforded to citizens by their creator in the Constitution, and whereas local governments reserve the right and hold the responsibility to protect individual liberty, therefore be it resolved that the Hawkins County Commission acknowledges the detriment and danger that overreaching government regulations bring to citizens and agrees to never adopt TCA 6-2-201, 22, and 23 or similar powers afforded to the county by the state that should be considered contrary to constitutional liberty. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
All right, thank you. We've got a motion from Commissioner Gillum, a second from Commissioner Thacker. That opens the floor for discussion. We've got a request to speak from Commissioner Rhodes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to amend to add TCA 51118 next to where it says TCA 62201, 22, and 23 is what it would say that, or TCA 51118.
Okay, so after TCA 62201, 22, 23, you want to put TCA, what was the?
TCA 5-1-118.
Okay, are you putting that in the form of
Yes,
amendment?
yes, Mr. Chairman, that is an amendment.
All right, we've got an amendment on the floor to add TCA 5-1-118. We've got Commissioner Thacker. Do we have a second to the motion to amend? All right, we got a second from Commissioner Palmer, which opens the floor for discussion on this amendment. Then we'll go back to the original resolution.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
So with this resolution, the powers listed that would be given to the county in 62201, 22, and 23, in order for us to have those powers, TCA 51118 has to be passed first. So this resolution is step 2, passing 51118, which was technically what the resolution said last month. So what this does is it backs up and states that we won't pass 51118 that would give us the power to then pass 62201. It just strengthens the resolution.
Okay. Do we have any other comments or questions on the amendment itself?
Are you going to bring up anything else similar to that and try to pass it? Since you're not going to try to pass that one.
So may I respond? So when you look at TCA 62201, it does have a lot of things there, a lot of very specific things. It's kind of broad. The way that the Tennessee General Assembly gave us that power, they said that we had to pass it with a 2/3 majority vote, which means that 10 people would have voted in favor of passing 51118 first, and then all of the other subsequent laws or regulations that we pass after that would take a 2/3 vote. So once again, what this does is it just solidifies what Mr. Gillum's resolution already says, so that we can make sure that step 1 never happens to start with, which therefore can never open the door for step 2, as long as, this commission's in place. So one thing that I would add to the folks here is that it would take a simple majority to undo this. It takes 2/3 of a vote to adopt 62201 or 51118 to start with. Out of 14, you have to have 10 people that would support it. So once again, this is just to simply strengthen that to make sure that we get step 1 and step 2 in the resolution.
Any other comments on the amendment? Let's go ahead and vote on the amendment. This is a vote yes to add the Okay. comments on the amendment? Let's go ahead and vote on the amendment.
Vote is 12 yes, 1 no.
Okay, we are back to the resolution now as amended. So we're now voting on 2023-09-03 as amended. Commissioner Gillum, would you like to speak?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I think a lot of folks would like us to be able to guarantee that a future commission would never rescind this, or there'd be loopholes and this and that. That's just not possible. And I know some people have made the comments, publicly saying that this resolution is not worth anything because it can be rescinded or this and that. Well, that's true with anything that we pass, right? I mean, anything that this commission passes, be it anything that we pass, we could undo it next month, or the next commission could undo it. That's always true. So what I'll tell you is that elections matter, and that folks need to stay informed. And if you don't want something to be passed, then stay informed from here on out. There's no way that folks sit here and guarantee what's going to be done in the future or whatnot. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I got.
Okay, any other comments on the resolution as amended? You'll have to stand up and speak. We can't hear you.
Who voted no?
Who voted no on the amendment?
Larry Clark. May I address her?
Yes, sir. Quickly.
This resolution that we had last month, I told you had to come about, and 99.9% of what's been on the internet just wasn't true. I've had good friends call me and say, hey, I don't want to do this, do that, you can come do that. No, I don't tell anybody to do anything. But we live in a nation of law. And you have a right on a car, but you can't go down the road doing 55 mile an hour. And you can't drive. Let me speak, sir. Let me speak. You got to arrest your car, you got to have pay, you got to have insurance. You can own a gun, but you can't break it on this property tomorrow. All rights that you have some limitations. And most of them are for the common good. This started out.
Mr.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, can I say something?
Yes, real quickly, please.
Thank you. So let me say this: everybody who sits up, I'm sitting up here with, I'm privileged to serve with, I respect every one of them, no matter how they vote. If they voted down this resolution that I introduced, I'm friends with them first. There's nobody up here that wants to hurt you. There's nobody up here that personally wants to do anything to you. You may disagree with the way they vote, and that's perfectly fine. They disagree with the way I vote many times, and probably will many times in the future. And I will them. That's the way this thing works. But shouting at people and calling them names and comparing them to outlandish things, that's not productive for anybody. I respect everybody that I sit up there with, and I respect their right to vote and have their conscience. And I would ask that all of you do the same. And if you have something to say, go right ahead.
Okay.
Well, we do, I feel like we have some problems in Hawkins County that need to be addressed. And we've had citizens come before this committee, they feel like we have problems to be addressed. So some of us talked it over, and we will refer few reasonable, limited zoning rules. Limited. But what all you put on the internet was 99.9% erroneous. It just wasn't true.
Okay.
We listen to you guys sit meetings. Let me speak, please. I'm not afraid of controversy. I thrive on it sometimes. So when somebody comes to your neighborhood and creates a rock crusher or have a commercial chicken houses and have landfills next to you. No, we have authority over landfills, I'm sorry, I apologize. But nearly all our rights, come from the Constitution, but all of them, some of them are limited. Nearly all of them are limited. That's what I got to say. So I'm going to stand for what I believe. You want to vote against it next time, you can't, but I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Any other, Commissioner Palmer?
Mr. Chairman, I call for question.
Okay, question's been called. Let's go ahead and vote, please.
Yes, 1 no, and 1 abstain.
Okay, can you go ahead and announce who voted which way, please?
Sure. Sybil Vaughn, yes. John Gibson, yes. Tom Kern, abstain. Jeff Barrett, yes. Danny Alves, yes. Charles Thacker, yes. Joshua Gillen, yes. Chad Britton, yes. Linda Davis, yes. Jason Roach, yes. Larry Ponce, no. Nancy Barker, yes. Robbie Palmer, yes.
All right, thank you. That resolution has been passed.